Welcome back to Developing with mydigitalstructure. This is Building Your First App within mydigitalstructure Part 2. Where we left off, we were just running some more tests with jQuery, getting our input boxes to be displayed in alerts. If you missed Part 1, please click on the link below. Test, and I'm putting test in the password as well. Your logon is test, your password is test. Okay, comment out this. I'm going to leave all these little bits that we do for testing uncommented, so you can download the script and uncomment them and have a play around with anything that you see. Now that I have my two variables, my S password and my S logon, I want to pass this across to another function, or I can do a call straight in here that will call mydigitalstructure. So nothing that we've seen so far is dedicated to mydigitalstructure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the Ajax function within jQuery in order to make the call for us. Okay, what I've just typed in here is the standard Ajax notation for making calls to not only mydigitalstructure sites, but you can make them to any site where you want to pull information from an XML string, a JSON object, and display it somewhere in your page or do something with that data. So what I'm going to do now, because I need to reference a URL, I'm going to go back to the mydigitalstructure web page and go into the documentation. So in here you'll find documentation on all 500 methods. Now the first method that we're going to use, or that you'll probably ever use on any web page, is the login documentation. So I'm going to just go to endpoints. Okay, and we can see all the different endpoints. So within these endpoints, there's a whole bunch of methods that you can use. Now the first one at the top is logon. So that's the one that we're after. So it's pretty simple. It tells you what parameters need to be passed, and it tells you what is going to be returned. So for on-demand logon, I'm just going to copy that URL, go back into my script, and I'm going to paste that in there. The other thing that it's asking for, if we minimize this again, it's asking for a logon and a password and whether or not the correct case is important. Now I don't really need that for my implementation, so I'm just going to be using the logon and the password, and that's what I'm going to be sending across to this URL. We'll go back, logon, and my logon is S logon, and in here my password is S password. Okay, so what this is saying is I want to send this packet of data, which is the logon, the S logon, password and the S password, to this URL. On a success, it wants to take the data and do something with it. So do something. And this is where we will do a call back in a few steps time in order to get back that user's details. So their username and their password and their last logged on time or something like that. This is good to go. So this means when we click on the login now button, if we go back to our script, it will send this username and that password to that on-demand method, and we will see the return. So I have to upload my script again. Upload. Have to refresh my page. So now what I'm going to do is open up Firebug, and instead of where we were living before on the HTML page just to view the element details, I'm actually going to go across to net and have it selected on XHR. So this will show us any calls that are being made through to any websites that are off our own website. So I'm just going to chuck in a password that obviously will be wrong, just to see that the call is being made. So click login now, and we've seen that a post has been sent by 1460.1 blank space to ondemand/login logon. Sorry. So exactly what we had here. We should be able to see the data that has been passed through. So we can see the post. So my logon and my test password, and we can see the response, which is saying error code to error nodes logon failed, blah blah blah. And also we can see that this is a JSON object that has been returned with all the different error codes. If I try and do a logon, which I know will work, just add my. So another call has been made. And we can see the response. We can now see that we've got password status of OK. It's telling us that we're not a system admin. It gives us our user ID. So a whole bunch of things gets returned, including a SID, a session ID, if we need to use that. So we can do a check for the status in our script, and then based on the status of us being logged on, we can then show our user details. So back into the script. Okay. And for the get user details function, now that we have been logged in, we can actually do another search or another call into the mydigitalstructure framework. So if we go back into our endpoints and then we go back into core, we have a core get user details method. So you can see that we don't even actually have to pass across any data into this. We just have to do the method call, and then that's it. So I'm going to copy that, go back to my test, and paste it in there. Now, since we're still doing an AJAX call, I'm just going to copy the structure that I've had with the previous one, the previous AJAX call. Scroll down, delete all the internals out of it. We don't need any of this data, because remember it's a blank call. And instead of doing a post, I'm actually going to do a get this time. It should work for either, but I'm just going to change it to a get. So there we go. So on success, smaller. So on success for this one, I might want to push those details into an element or something similar. I'm actually going to push them into an element, but we'll go and upload this first and see what happens after we click the login button. Okay, so I'm saving, going back to developers, uploading. There we go, we do a refresh. So I'm clicking login. So you can see that it's done the login. It's got a response back. It's got a success notice of OK, and then straight away we've done the call get user details. So call get user details has responded with a whole bunch of details that are useful for what we need to do. So we're going to grab the first name and last logon and inject them into the HTML. So open back up to my JavaScript. So what simply I'm going to do now is I'm going to append to the body the two details that have been returned, but I'm going to do it in a bit of a HTML way. So what this will do, after we log in and it's successful, it's going to go to get user details, it's going to run get user details. If this call is successful, it will run show user details and actually append the contact's first name and the contact's last logon with a bit of HTML around it to the bottom of the page. And let's do a refresh. I'm clicking on login now. The logon request is made. Get user details has been called. We've got the returns back that we had before. Because the user I'm logging in as the same username, and it's telling me welcome back test. Your last logon was on 16th of May 2012. So this is a very simple example, but what you must remember is that this is only dealing with one row worth of information. If we're doing a contact search, which we will handle in the next episode, we will have to iterate on the rows being returned and actually give back details based on the rows. So a lot more loops involved. In this case, we can just reference the object that's returned and return that value in particular. So that's it. You should now have your first web app running on the mydigitalstructure platform up and running. Even though it is a very trimmed down version, the concepts that are used and the way that you interact with the API itself is very similar moving forward, even into more advanced features using advanced search and contact manipulation, which we're going to discuss in the next episode. So thank you for watching. And please, if you have any questions, post them in the comments area below. All the code will be made available and hopefully be uploaded in the description. If there's anything missing that you didn't catch, please again post in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.